Good morning, I'm back again. Not quite sure what happened there at all. Um, I do apologise for that. I was using a different phone. This one seems to be a lot darker with the lighting, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. So I do apologise. So I was just saying that, your intentions are very, very powerful first thing in the morning. So as soon as you wake up, even if you've not opened your eyes, if you set the intention that different day, same old shit, that is exactly what you're going to create. If you set the intention that you're going to have a good day, then that's what you're going to create. If you set the intention that today's going to be just maybe a reasonable morning, then that's what you're going to create. So if we set the intention that we're going to have a good day, and I'm sorry about the previous video, I was using my other phone and for some reason it's just cut out. So I do apologise. This is round 2. But I'd love your thoughts on what we should call this morning. Mary's pause for thought. I was saying about Terry Wogan, I used to really love that guy. He used to have me in stitches. At this moment in time, all of us need to laugh more, and for those of you that do or do not remember the Janet and John stories that Terry Wogan used to do, maybe, I don't know if they're going to be on YouTube, they should be somewhere. You can get the Janet and John CD, I don't know whether they would do an MP3 now, I'm not sure. But goodness me, the amount of times I used to have little Esme in the car and the CD playing, listening to the Janet and John stories. And tears rolling down my face. I dread to think what someone driving in the other lane used to think about me. But you know what? Whatever your intention is today, just try and laugh more. Every single one of us is under pressure at the moment. We can choose whether to give into that pressure or whether to accept, acknowledge it and then move on. So my friend Caroline gave me these cards recently. And I'm guessing I could probably count them, but there's probably about 50. And I was saying that every morning I just pick one so that I can set the intention, there's that magic word again, for, what you guys might want me to talk about this morning, or how I can help you, how we can help each other, etc., etc. So I did choose one on intention the other day, and I'll just read you this one. It's quite beautiful. Begin each day with an intention that will clearly determine the quality of your day. By starting your day with intention, you are creating the exact type of day that you wish to have. You send the universe a clear message of what you are open and willing to receive that day. When you start the day with intention, you reclaim your power and become the creator of your life. So, what is your intention for today? So an intention is really just maybe a thought or an affirmation. So if you set your intention that you're going to have a really, really good day, the chances are you actually are, because you set the intention. Many of you are aware of Law of Attraction. Many of you have read my book. Some of you have attended the meditation groups, workshops, trained in Reiki with me, blah, blah, blah. Many of you have just got your own common sense, and you can probably see a rhythm to the choices we make when we have a good day or we have a bad day. And, all of us have bad days. Don't think for 1 minute that I don't have bad days, because I would be lying, and that's not true. I have bad days as well. But when I do, I will usually go for a walk or shake it off, okay? Just get rid of it. Because the body has cellular memory. It's very interesting when you do research on this. Whatever you choose to do, whatever research you choose to do with this, for goodness sake, use your own wisdom and discernment all the time. Never just believe something you read. Never just believe something you hear. You must always listen with your own wisdom and discernment. So, what intentions maybe have you set today? Maybe some of you are cleaning out the kitchen cupboards. Maybe some of you are doing the gardening. Maybe some of you, if you're on self-containment rather than not being allowed to go out, then maybe start by thinking about what you want to do today. Maybe you're going to redecorate something that you really want to write, or maybe there's something else you want to do. So good morning to all of you. I do apologise for the other video that cut out. I don't know what happened there. What intention would you like to start the day with, and how determined are you when things start to go belly up, when your day goes wrong, when the kids are grumpy, when your partner's grumpy, when you feel grumpy, when there's no hot water, when the kettle doesn't boil quick enough, when you've run out of your favourite tea bags? You know, everything that happens is a choice. And we can choose to certainly be more miserable, or certainly choose to be more positive. Many of you know that I travelled last year. I travelled through India and Nepal, and then Bali, New Zealand, and then back to Bali to train with a medicine man. And the vibration in Bali, I know many of you have been, but the vibration in Bali is really, really quite incredible. It's a really beautiful place. And what I used to find was, if I set the intention that, you know, I would have a really, really good day, or that maybe today is full of miracles, an intention like that, I would often find that there would be miracles all around. So when we set that positive intention, usually we can actually get that positive intention. So let's allow the miracles in. You know, whenever I've had times in my life where I've felt wobbly, as we all do, I've often asked the universe for a sign. Sometimes I've walked by the canal, sometimes I've seen a kingfisher. Sometimes, you know, there's been a beautiful rainbow that I've been able to look at, and I've really, really, really enjoyed just the appreciation of a sign to say that, you know, we can get through, and we can get through that time where there's maybe stress or the unknown or sadness or something like that. So at the moment, obviously, we're all lucky. We've got a roof over our head, clean clothes, food in the cupboard, food in the fridge. But how often, you know, do we take for granted the other things that we have? Maybe friendships, a good book to read. Sometimes, and very often, to be fair, we take ourselves for granted. We have gifts maybe that we don't use, talents we don't use. My daughter is an amazing dancer. She's a beautiful artist. Now, fair enough, you know, working full-time, you don't always have time to do that. So just have a think about where your talents lie. And now is an ideal time to do that. So I think when we honour who we really are, underneath all the masks that society puts on us, things start to change. And a beautiful friend of mine who has naturally curly hair had put something on yesterday to say that, you know, for years she straightened her hair to get ready for work, to put her makeup on, blah, blah, blah. Now we're in kind of lockdown, self-containment. It doesn't actually matter. And what is it that really matters to you? I've known people who don't go out without makeup on, who don't even let the husband or the partner see them, you know, without makeup on. And who is the real you underneath whatever it is that, you know, you feel you are or you would like to be? So I just wanted to take a few moments. You know, maybe you always wanted to learn to ride a horse. My friend Kirsten teaches horse whispering, which is a really, really, really stunning and amazing experience communicating with horses. Many of you want to write a book, do some painting, do some dancing, start a dance class. How many times at the beginning of the year do we actually want to think about losing weight? I'm going to get into good habits, I'm going to get into bad habits. So when we talk about intentions, a lot of the time that will actually come down to your habits. So think about the habits you have, and it may be, I mentioned the other day that some of you have a journal. I know I always advise my students to keep a journal. I think it's really good to have personal reflection. Now, whether you decide to do personal reflection in the morning or personal reflection in the evening or personal reflection every day or once a week or once a month, is entirely up to you. I'd been keeping a journal probably for about 15 or 16 years. I used to do Tai Chi. I started doing Tai Chi about 20 years ago, and that changed everything for me. And then certainly when I did Reiki, that really, really, really changed everything for me. And I started to acknowledge who I really was, and obviously with the chronic fatigue syndrome. So a journal helps you understand yourself. And it's really good because you can look at how you've grown, you know. And when I say how you've grown, I don't mean that we're growing fatter or thinner or taller. What I mean is, you know, we become more accepting of things, perhaps, is what's important. Maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe kind of, you know, less self-absorbed. You know, maybe we don't react emotionally. Maybe the things that we have taught and told ourselves over the years, they don't hurt us as much. We've all had hurts, we've all had knocks, we've all had misunderstandings, we've all hurt people intentionally or otherwise. I don't think there's anybody, or I think there's only very few people who deliberately go out there to hurt somebody else. But we've all done it. And when you start journaling, you can start to take time to reflect, even if you do it through meditation or just sitting quietly. And you can start to see how you've grown in yourself. We can grow many, many, many ways. So think about how you can grow in and of yourself. Think about how you can grow with, I don't know, just progressing, honouring your creative talents. How often do we belittle ourselves, criticise ourselves, try and be perfect? And I realised when I've done the journal, as I say, I've kept them for about 15 or 16 years, and I used to have one for every year. So my dear son has them in his attic now. But when I looked back over my journals, I always remember one day when I was teaching Reiki, and I got my journals out for my students, because it's really important, especially, you know, you're on your personal journey. Reiki's going to look for balance. It's going to look to find you and the better part of you. So think about how you could journal, what you want to journal. Sometimes in my journal I would put photographs of my granddaughters or my parents or something that had really inspired me. Sometimes I would make a flower arrangement or photographs of the garden as it was when I moved in my house and I had to renovate and you sort the garden out completely, you know. Think about things that you've done. Think about things that you've created. Some of you may do needlework or sewing or needlecraft or cooking. Think about the joy that you've had when you've created a wonderful meal. A few of you may be teachers. Think about a really successful day when you've been teaching. Think about a really good day when you've enjoyed your children, when you've enjoyed being with your partner. Think about a good day when you've enjoyed being with yourself, because many of us at this time are faced with being on our own. Or, you know, and we can't, it's lovely to go out for a coffee, for a meal with friends. But can we actually do that? You know, at the moment, most of us are isolated in some way, shape or form. I have noticed if I go out for a walk here, you know, sometimes people say bonjour, sometimes people don't. Whereas previously I would have said that most people would actually acknowledge you to some degree or another. So think about how you've changed. Think about whether you want to journal. Think about whether you want to do any reflective work about yourself. You know, what is it you want to change about yourself? Maybe you're perfect. You know, we're all perfect with our imperfections. One of the big things I noticed when I sat with my students and I went through my journals was I was less reactive to emotions. I was more grounded, I was more calm. Now, maybe that was because I did more meditations. Maybe it was because I'd read more self-help books. Obviously, when I wrote my first 2 books, which were essentially autobiographies, that was very, very cathartic. Because for me, I was so stuck in the story for such a long time. Poor me, playing the victim, looking at, everything was my husband's fault or my ex-husband's fault, why we got divorced. And of course, it wasn't his fault. There was responsibility there for me as well. So when we start taking personal responsibility for our lives, when we can actually take it on the chin when somebody says, you know what, you actually really hurt me, or through your words, your thoughts, your actions and your deeds, and when we can take responsibility for actually hurting ourselves. Because very often when we're angry with someone else, the only person we're angry with is ourselves. And if you've not kind of got to that place yet, and maybe you're still in angry mode, just ask yourself, is it serving you? I had a friend many, many years ago. I haven't seen her for many years. And, we introduce ourselves and we usually use our story quite a lot. This is my life, this is what's happened, blah, blah, blah. And the interesting thing with her was that she was saying, my husband left me with 3 children and I'm struggling financially and blah, 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 blah. And I actually felt genuinely sorry for this woman. And she said, my husband left me, he's got another wife now and they've got twins. And, basically she was saying my life's crap. And I really did genuinely feel sorry for her. And then I asked another friend when we got back later in the afternoon. And I said, this person is really struggling with all of this. And she said, oh yeah, it was 10 years ago. And for 10 years, this woman has been telling herself the same story. For 10 years, this woman has been stuck. I'm not saying journaling would help. I'm not saying meditation would help. What I'm saying is that often when we use the tools in the kit, we can begin to move forward. So an intention is often about forgiveness on some level, forgiveness for ourselves, because we get stuck in the story. I used to be so stuck in my story. And what we need to look at is it serving me? Is it doing me justice? Is it helping me? We've all had times where we have been hurt, or at least we perceive we've been hurt. That's the important thing. That's how we perceive it. But when we shut down and when we go into anger, when we look at the heart center, it closes up. Now we all know we can have a beautiful rose, and as the sun comes out, it starts to open. As we look at a water lily, the water lily will start to open. When we experience anger, frustration, irritation, out and out rage sometimes, when we appreciate that there are other emotions such as love, joy, bliss, peace, everything is your choice. So let's go back to your intention. What is it that you intend for today? Do you want to remain angry? Just ask yourself that question. Do you want to remain angry? Do you want to focus on the frustration of life? Because we've all got them. I think many people in the West now are worried about finances, worried about jobs, worried about what's going to happen, worried about how long we're going to be in quarantine for, are we going to have food. I wasn't the kind of person, and I never will be, who will dash to the shop on a mad fear binge for toilet rolls and everything else. And, I've got one on the shelf and one on the roller. And so what? I'll just cut some tissues up or figure it out, Does it really matter? And take a look at what really, really matters in your life. When did you tell people in your life that you love them? You know, how much love do you receive in your life? So let's just do a small exercise, just like we did before. And just think about a pie chart. So a pie chart, as you know, 360 degrees, but for now, let's just imagine it's a quiche or a pie or your favourite chocolate cake or whatever, and cut it in half, so 50-50. Cut it into quarters, 25% each. Cut it into eighths, so 12 and a half each. So think about how you can look at your pie chart. What is it you want to do with your pie chart? Think about how distracted you get through the day. Do you go back into your story? Do you go back into anger, frustration, irritation? Do you go back into a regret? You know, I've mentioned to you before about cellular memory. It would be good if you decided to dance. You know, dance in the kitchen. I can't remember that saying. You know, dance in the kitchen as if no one is watching. Love people as if nobody's ever going to reject you. Those kind of things. And just for a moment, maybe draw another pie chart. Cut it into halves, quarters, eighths, sixths. Do what you want. But think about how much love, how much joy, how much bliss, how much ecstasy you can actually welcome into your life. Think about the first thing, and this is where mindfulness comes in. So this is why meditation is important, because when we can catch the thoughts, when we can take control of the mind, when we can ease up on the mind, just like pressing the brake on a car, just like saying no to someone who's in your face, maybe being inappropriate with you, then what we can do is just ease up on ourselves. How many times, how many thoughts do you have of belittlement, criticisms, something that's inappropriate perhaps for you? And think about what that would feel like if you could change that. And the fact is, by acknowledging that you have a problem or something that's not serving you, think about what you would like to change. Think about how it would feel to be more peaceful, to be more at ease, even if you've only ever had moments of peace. Simple law of attraction, simple quantum physics. If you focus on peace, and if you focus on more peace, that is what you're going to create. So you can have a look at the theories around the upper limits of happiness. Many of us believe, or I used to believe, that I didn't deserve to be happy. I didn't deserve to be loved. I don't know, I wasn't good enough in various fields, you know. And at the end of the day, do I feel that now? No. But certainly when I look back through the journals that I had, some of the berating, belittling, condescending comments I used to have about myself, which was so inappropriate, you know. We've got to forgive ourselves. We've got to forgive other people because, you know, just like the friend who was saying, you know, my husband left me and da-da-da, and she made it sound like it was yesterday, but it was 10 years. So has she wasted 10 years? Not really, because that's her learning curve. You know, we get frustrated at being frustrated. Maybe I'm fed up with this job, I'm going to change it. Right, I'm getting more fed up with this job, I'm going to change it. Right, I'm really, really, really going to change it now. You know, we have to go through a process of frustration sometimes, a process of acceptance. It's probably a little bit like grief, you know, we go through the process of feeling angry to feel a peace. So what is it that you want to improve on today? Do you want to improve on anything today? Maybe you're quite happy as you are, and you know what, good luck to you, because I think that's wonderful. If you do keep a journal, how do you feel in this moment? Yesterday, a very, very dear friend of mine messaged to say that her father had passed away, and sometimes people want space at these times. I mean, obviously we're all kind of isolated. And I didn't know if she wanted me to ring up, because sometimes people don't. So I just sent her a message and I said, look, do you want to talk? Do you want to just be? What's best for you, you know? Anyway, she rang me and she was on the phone for an hour, and I just let her talk, and she was sharing the beautiful things that she remembered about her dad, about her father. And inevitably, you know, my dad's in his late 80s and he does have chest problems. And, you know, I kind of thought, this could be me, because only 2 days before that was the anniversary of a very dear friend's father's passing as well. And obviously with the coronavirus, I don't watch the news. I've no intention of watching the news. I find out what's going on through other means anyway. Usually people put something on Facebook. And I haven't watched the news while I've been abroad anyway. I think I'd rather put pins in my eyes. But anyway, we'll move on. But, you know, who is it you appreciate? You know, when I message mum, when I message dad, I always end the message, I love you. If I'm on FaceTime or WhatsApp, I always end the phone call with, I love you. If I send a card home to England, wherever home is at the moment, I always send that, you know, I love you. So some of us find it really, really, really hard to say I love you. And I'll be honest with you, I used to for a long time. But now it's much, much, much easier. And I think it is, for me at least, only because of a process of self-reflection, self-evaluation. This is not about berating, belittling, condescending. This is about a genuinity of being the best person that you can be. So what is your intention today? Do you want to be a better person? You know? Do you want to see the good in other people? Do you want to have some fun? Can you laugh? How much can you laugh? Can you really, really, really belly laugh, you know? I know I shared the video the other day of the dog saying it was brassed off, words to that effect, that the dog was only allowed one walk a day now, which was just, I just found it so funny. And even when I watch it again and again and again, it still makes me laugh. There's some clips going about of Sarah Millican and Benny Hill and Dave Allen and something else. And then somebody kindly sent me a clip this morning of Paul McCartney, and it was lovely. And he was saying to the other guy, and I cannot remember his name, the driver in the car, I may have sent it to a few of you. He was saying how he got inspiration for the song, Let It Be. And how powerful are those words? Just let it be. And I remember a few weeks ago, I was on the French side, and I was with some friends of ours. We had a mutual friend who died of lung cancer many years ago. And I was just meditating one morning. Many of you know that I do mediumship. And she just came to me and she said, you know, you're having a meeting tonight. So we call ourselves Fockers, friends of Kimmy. And we all brought some food, because she asked in the last weeks when she was dying, you know, will you please all keep in touch when I leave? And that's a beautiful thing about having spiritual friends. So us very proud Fockers, we enjoyed a meal, and I was staying with my friend Peter at the time, who does many, many, many things. And one of the things Peter does is actually write songs. And he learnt the guitar, and we sung a song for Kimmy. And I said to Pete, well, let's do 3 songs, because there's always the power of 3, you know, when we start talking about affirmations and intentions and things. And one of the songs that we sung was Let It Be. So maybe it's a good time for you today to listen to the song Let It Be. Maybe it's a good time for you to think about what that song means to you personally, because it is one of the best songs ever. If any of you have seen the film Yesterday, I loved it. I had the privilege, and it was a real, real, real privilege, to go with my very dear family in New Zealand to watch it at the movies. And there's nothing like being surrounded as a mum with your children, and the love that we shared, and the popcorn we shared, and the chocolates we shared, and just watching that film was crazy. And it was absolutely beautiful. So, think about how you can reflect on the day. Think about how you can put more energy, more vitality, more love in your life. Because as I've said many, many, many times, everything is love or fear. When I had my insecurities, it wasn't because of love, it was because of fear. I feared I wasn't good enough, for whatever reason. I'm still a work in progress. I still have moments where, something might get the better of me and I've got to master that, I still have a phobia of IT. The fear it took me to overcome doing a FaceTime live was really quite real to me. To some of you, it might just be peanuts, I will try to, get over the IT fear, but I do appreciate that I do have other gifts, Do what we need to do. How long does it take us to sharpen ourselves up to be the best that we can be, So good morning to all of you, but just have a think today, maybe about journaling, about what you want to do, about how you can bring more love into your life. I had a very, very beautiful Reiki teacher, Diane Mather, who was just an absolute goddess. She channeled Kuan Yin energy. Kuan Yin, for those of you that don't know, is the goddess of compassion, or Mother Mary, or, she'll come under many, many different names, maybe Mother Earth as well. But just think about how you can put more love into your life. Are you afraid of telling someone that you love them? I tell my granddaughters all the time I love them, I tell my family that I love them. Think about how you can say to yourself that you love yourself. Many of the times that I've worked with people in workshops and when I've done talks, think about the love that you have for yourself. Because I promise you, if you have anger or doubts or guilt or shame, these are very, very heavy energies and they will take your power. Fear is one of the biggest ones that will take your power. But imagine, and especially at this time, if each of us make ourselves into a better version of ourselves, then we will spread that around to the people around us, to people who really, really, really love us. And think about how you yourself can improve yourself. Think about how much power you give to fear, how much power you give away to feeling that you don't deserve love, or you are not good enough, or whatever project you've just done isn't good enough, that your work's not good enough. Let's put some love in the mix. How many times even the most experienced chef can make a meal that's it's horrible, Think about the times when you make a meal and sometimes you just try something different and it comes out amazing. This is how, licorice all sorts came about. It was a mistake in the mix. Licorice all sorts weren't planned, they just came out. So sometimes when we have a day when we're having a wobble, when we feel rubbish, think about what you're going to do on that day. I call it a bump in the road. But think about what you can do on that day. Do you go out for a walk? Do you keep trying? Do you keep riding the bike and falling off? Or do you just say, well, look, today I'm going to hold my hand up and you know what? Just for today, I'm going to park it. I'm going to leave it for a few hours. I'm going to see if I feel better. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can feel better. Many of you will have crystals. You can use the crystal. This is a very, very small one. And you can use that to go right through the chakra system. Some of you will have singing bowls. Many of you know the power of music. You can use the frequency of 432 hertz or 528 hertz. Just put the song on, let it be. Think about maybe going for a walk, whether you're on self-containment or lockdown, dancing in the kitchen. But if you allow yourself to stay in that place, if you allow yourself to keep whinging, to keep belittling, guess what you're going to create more of? So everything comes back down to your intention. It comes back down to your thought. Because, of course, when we speak, we've already thought the thought before we say it. You know, an architect who is going to build a house, he may have been given the land, he may have looked at the land, and he's then got to make a plan, depending perhaps on what the budget is. But imagine a limitless budget. Is he going to build a small house or a big house, a community house? What's the purpose of the house? How many people are in the family? So, you know, there are things that need to be taken into consideration, but no doubt he will look at the best opportunity and the best possibility, the best possible outcome he can have for that house. So let's take that back to you. What do you want in your house? How can you be the best version of yourself for your family, for yourself, for your loved ones? Think about your intention, you know. Think about how much you trust in life, in God, in religion, I don't know. But I don't mean it in a religious sense. I mean it in a true sense of just being able to trust your intuition, being able to trust your inner wisdom. When I left the UK last year, I had no real idea where I was going. You know, a few things were planned. I wanted to go to Ajmer, and I knew I was going to land in Goa. I knew I was eventually going to end up in New Zealand. I didn't know that after that I would end up in Bali for 8 months with Bapa Manku and then end up here, you know. But all I've done all the way through is just go with trust. If it felt right, I've done it. And how many of us take time to feel what's right for us, you know? So think about what feels right for you today, you know. Dance in the kitchen, do some stretching, maybe yoga, maybe Tai Chi. Read the book you've been meaning to read. We've all got time on our hands now, so how you choose to use that is up to you. But if the monkey mind, you know, the ego mind that starts saying you're not good enough or starts going backwards, and you find yourself going back in your story, well, this is what happened to me and I'm the victim and da-da-da. I used to think I was an almighty martyr, you know. I really used to play the victim, and until you give up on your story, then, you know, you're going to keep attracting the same old. And all of us are being given time now to reflect, to become better people, hopefully. And maybe all of us, you know, will shine those acts of random kindness to other people around us. And sometimes it's a question of just, whether you meditate or not, just taking 5-10 minutes out to just be still. As I said, you know, it was very, very humbling listening to my friend yesterday, and she was very upset because she's just lost her father. And yet, you know, she was saying how many wonderful, wonderful things, how many wonderful experiences she had with him, which was really touching. And when you have to hold space for someone who is, you know, really struggling with things like that, then it's a very powerful, very humbling thing. And how much love do we give to other people, you know? But think about how much love you actually give to yourself. Think about the loving kindness that you give to other people, and think about the loving kindness you give to yourself. Because when we become our own best friend, we have a lot more energy to give to other people. And I really did used to be my own worst enemy. I'm not going to lie to you. I was so challenging of myself in so many ways, expecting perfection. And many of you out there are mothers or fathers, you know. And even if you're not, I'm sure you can relate to this. But, you know, as a mother, you try and be the perfect mother. You know, you wake up refreshed, rejuvenated, and, you know, put that smile on your face and get the kids up, and then they don't want to get up, and then they won't tidy the room, and then the washing machine breaks, and then the tap bursts, you know, and you've got water all over the kitchen. How do you deal with those days? The thing is, it's a choice. And of course, the scientists say we have about 70 to 90,000 thoughts that we make a decision on every day. So do you want to allow the monkey mind to control you, or do you want to just tell the monkey mind to back off, So think about all the beautiful things that you can do today. My friend Daphne sent me some beautiful photographs yesterday of some flowers that she's grown in the garden, and they always cheer me up. And I sent it round to many friends through WhatsApp and Facebook. And all of them came back and said, you know what, they just cheered me up. Just a simple vase of flowers. I said to a few of you that in this time, I decided to purchase some colouring pencils the other day. And it's certainly not the best, I can assure you. But I drew a lotus. I might put a picture of it on the Facebook wall afterwards. I don't know if you'll be able to tell it's a lotus or not. But irrespective of that, there was a lot of love that went into that picture. I was thinking this morning maybe to go shopping, get some bits and bobs, and maybe to buy some flowers, or maybe to pick some flowers from the park within reason. I'm not going to vandalise a flower bed, but just sit and draw a flower. If you're housebound, maybe just get a picture on Wikipedia or something like that. Think of your favourite flower, your favourite animal, and think of just whatever comes to mind. Many of you know what your power animal is. And many of you may or may not want to draw your power animal. Many of you may have a photograph of your power animal. Maybe just sketch it. Maybe just take some time to do that. I was very, very privileged when my daughter was doing art at college and at school, that, when I looked at her art folder, it was astonishing what she'd done, And the pictures she used to be able to do in charcoal and then draw, and then, if you just put your finger over it and kind of move it a little bit, and just use the different shading, the different grades. Obviously, we can get different pencils, 2B, 2H, HB, and etc., etc. So, just to go back to that power of intention. Now, I do realise that a few of you have been messaging saying that you got on to the first video and then for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, whether the Wi-Fi here broke down, but it went off, and a few of you have tried to message me saying that you couldn't get back on. So, and I know a few of you have only just joined me. So I will just repeat again the intention that we started with. Begin each day with an intention that will clearly determine the quality of your day. By starting your day with intention, you are creating the exact type of day that you wish to have. You send the universe a clear message of what you are open and willing to receive that day. When you start the day with intention, you reclaim your power and become the creator of your life. What is your intention for today? One of the beautiful things when I became more spiritually aware was becoming aware of the power of your thoughts. If you do start thinking different days, same old shit, there you go, that's what you're going to get. And in these times of isolation, think about ringing the friend, think about talking to a friend, thinking about how you can be your own best friend. In Bali, it was so wonderful. A massage was about £5 English, or you could get a manicure or a pedicure. But the appreciation, and I mean genuine appreciation that I had for these people massaging my neck and shoulders was incredible. How can you feel good today? I always remember many years ago, I used to wear my favourite underwear, just for myself, not because of anybody else or a partner or anything else. But think about, if you want to put your favourite shirt on today, your favourite jewellery, if you want to put your favourite lipstick on, do your hair, do something that makes you feel good. Whether it's dancing in the kitchen or something else, but just do something that makes you feel good. At least one thing. If you can do 3 things, that's better. If you can take the time to journal and do more than that, then, good for you. So yeah, just think about your intention for today, and I wish you all the very, very best. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm sorry about the technical problems we've had today. I've no idea because I don't know. I can only apologise. But good luck to you all. I will hopefully do the meditation about 9:15 Swiss time, 8:15 English time. So have a good day. Set your intentions high, What's that saying? Dream big. Because even if you dream and you aspire to get to the moon, if you fall, you're at least going to get to the stars. So there you go. Goodbye all. Love to all of you, and I really appreciate you being with me. I appreciate your support. Please put your comments on if there's anything you want help with. I know one of you asked me about kinesiology. I may well do that tomorrow. Anything else, any healing requests? I know, Chloe, you've messaged and asked for healing for your grandma. That's absolutely perfect. So have a beautiful day. Whatever beautiful means to you, have a successful day, whatever successful means to you. But stay healthy, stay safe, eat healthy, keep those immune systems up, and take care to all of you. Okay, bye, bye, bye.